In this lesson, you will learn about the circle and arc entities in CAD Calc and GraphicCalc. These are very commonly used entities, and you have a lot of flexibility in defining these entities. So let's start with the circle. There are three options for creating a circle. This one here is the first option, probably most commonly used option. It's called the center and radius circle. So the first point defines the center, and the second point defines the radius point. So when you open the circle, you'll see this is where the center was. You can control the x and y coordinates of this center point, or you can constrain it using a geometric constraint. And this shows a point on periphery which controls, these are the x and y coordinates of this point, and the current radius and the diameter. So if I wanted to give it a radius constraint, the simplest way would be to press the R key on the keyboard, and let's say I want this circle to be 15 millimeters. So I enter 15, press the enter key, and now when I open the circle, you'll see that the constraint point has a different icon. This indicates anytime you see a vertical arrow like this, that means the circle has got a radius constraint, and it's a rigid circle now, so you can move it around. You can also constrain this the circle's radius as a function of another geometry. For example, let's say there's a line here, and I want this radius to be defined by the endpoint of this line. So when the line changes, the radius changes. So that was a center and radius two-point circle, most commonly used circle tool. And then you have a choice also. Let's say I have two lines here, and I want a circle which will be at the endpoint of this line, and let's say the midpoint of this line. So the radius is now defined by the location of these 2 points. And so if I change the length of the line, you'll notice that the circle is changing. Likewise, if I change the angle of this line, it's being changed. And the third option is a 3-point circle. Let me show you how that works. Let's say you have 2 lines here, and you can constrain 2 of the points with the geometric constraint. So let's say it's going to be tangent to this, and then second point you click a point where you want the circle to pass, and the third point is tangent to this. So now if I change the line, you notice that the radius of the circle is changing while maintaining the tangency, and that's because this is a constraint point that you define. So in all cases, the circle is passing through this point. But I could give this a radius constraint. Let's say we make it a 15 millimeter circle by entering 15 in the value bar. And now you'll see the behavior of the circle will be a little different. If I change this, the circle is maintaining its radius while maintaining the tangencies also. So these are the 3 options for creating circles, and you have the flexibility of assigning the radius constraints or any of the radius constraints or many of these constraints using the formula bar. For example, I want this to be 10 millimeter plus 5 millimeters. So that's the current radius, and let me change it to plus 2 millimeters. You'll see the circle's behavior changing. And you can dimension a circle. Just use the radial dimension tool. Click on the circle that you want to dimension, and then click a point where you want to locate the dimension, and then you can move this around. And if you wanted to dimension the diameter, same process. Just click on the circle that you want to dimension, and now you have the dimension is showing the diameter of the circle. So let's do a very quick exercise. You can also goal seek circles, and let's do a simple exercise to show probably a simple usage. So I have a solid shaft, and I want to see if I can build an equivalent hollow shaft. So let's say the radius of the inner circle is equal to the radius of the outer circle minus 5 millimeters. So now when the outer circle changes, the inner circle changes alongside. So next I will declare this to be an area, and I will declare this to be an area by clicking the mouse and dragging it and creating a window. So next I will calculate the moment of inertia of this. So area is the default function. I substitute with moment of inertia, and likewise I want to have the moment of inertia of these. So if I wanted this profile to be equivalent to this profile here, with match moments of inertia, I can just simply click on the outer radius here and say goal seek, and click on the actual value of the moment of inertia to the target value by changing the radius. So now this is equal to the circle in terms of moment of inertia. Now if I change this circle, it's expanding and contracting now. So with a little bit of practice, you should be able to follow the circle tool and the circle entity pretty closely. The next entity we're going to talk is the arc, which is really a subset of a circle, and there are many options for creating arcs. And actually you get prompts below here